Alright, so let's start from here. Set that aside. So this is the heatsink, and I'll show you the parts that go in here, but there's a couple layers of whatever you call this stuff. Some kind of a thermal tape that's thick, takes up gaps. That's a thermal gap filler. Each one of these spots right here, that isn't just heatsink grease on there. There's actually a little piece of glass, and then it's stuck down with heatsink grease. And as you can see, there are, whatever that is, 5, 6, yeah, 11 of them. I'll show you the board that this goes onto. So here's the board, and so we've got a variety of different MOSFETs here. I think that these three right here are probably for discharging the board. And probably these two here are some kind of control for the outputs for charging. And then you've got all these little guys right here, of which each one has got a large resistor underneath it. So I'm guessing that when the manufacturer spec that this thing can balance at like 2 amps, yeah, that's probably true. It probably really can. It's probably hard to see this. Get out of my own light. But there's a couple ICs on here, this one and this one for each side. Those ones have the tops ground off of them, but all the rest of these are readable parts. There is very little about these boards, about this board, that is messy or sloppy or poorly done. If you look at the main solder connections, these go to the other side on the big coil that's on there. You know, very clean solder connections. Nothing is done horribly. Let's see, if you look at the legs on the MOSFETs, if I can get in there, get out of my own light, they have very short legs, and they've been reinforced with solder. So the solder path, or the current path on these MOSFETs is going to maximize what you can get out of a TO220 package, and it's also going to keep the legs really short so that you get very good thermal transfer between the leg and the die and the board. So that means they can handle more current. You can see the same thing in those ones. The legs have been reinforced with solder, and they're also very, very short, which is a good thing. Okay, so this is the bottom side of the board, which mates up to there. I will now take that board. Oh, before I go there, let me show you this. So this is the DC to DC converter, and there's a little tweeter on here for making noise. The other side of this thing has, I forget what it's called, a 2674 regulator chip on there. That's a little DC-DC converter. Over here you've got a little bit of electronics that go to these two little charge ports. That's for your controller packs. Here is your power connections. That's your temperature sensor, 10S connectors times 2. And the same thing on the other side. Alright, that's video, whatever that is, 2. That'll do.